Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Frazier, and welcome to the 2020 Fall Virtual Awards Ceremony. This evening, I'd like to take a moment to thank a few special people. I'd like to thank our superintendent, Mr. Jack Hurley, our principal, Mr. Frank Morano, our assistant principal, Mr. Nick DeBarry, our Board of Ed for all that they've done to support our student athletes to open up our schools and allow us participation this fall season. I'd also like to thank our Booster Club for their continued efforts and support, the Executive Board, and especially the President, Ms. Kristen Marin. I'd like to thank our athletic trainer and our coaching staff who had a very, very difficult challenge this year, coaching under various new guidelines and protocols, but they found a way to make it seem effortless and easy to help keep our kids on the field and keep them safe. I'd like to especially thank my assistant, Ms. Camille Haydorn, for all that she's done to help make this season as smooth as possible. So thank you all. Now tonight, this ceremony, we honor the fall athletes for their individual as well as their team efforts. You'll hear from our coaching staff of their outstanding achievements, the highs, the lows, the wins, the losses, but really, at the end of the day, the ultimate success story was that we were able to get out there, participate, do the things we love, and represent Rutherford High School despite this crazy pandemic that's going on. Now, normally we would have this ceremony or this awards banquet at a hall. We'd be having dinner and celebrate together. And I know we can't celebrate in person, but we're happy for the opportunity to be able to celebrate our student athletes. I hope you all continue to stay healthy, to be safe, and do everything you can to help get us back to normal. When we say normal, we want to get back to all the things that we love, and one of those things is being in person and sharing these awards together. Tonight's presentation will be available on our YouTube channel for you to watch anytime you want, and I'll make it available to our student athletes to download, and you'll be able to keep this as a memento for the future. First up, coached by Mr. Stephen Dunn, our varsity football team.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier, and good evening, everybody. If I were to sum up the 2020 Bulldog football season in one word, it would be a word that I'm sure the kids would tell you is the most used, and that's toughness. In this program, we define toughness as when things get hard, you must go harder. And we had a bunch of kids that displayed that more than any other team that I've ever been around. The 2020 Bulldogs went 3-3, 3-1 inside the Colonial Division, finishing for a tie for second place. Unfortunately, due to 3 separate COVID concerns, we had to cancel the game with the first place team and lost an opportunity to have a tie for a division title, at least a share of the title. And although the kids were extremely disappointed, the truth of the matter is that this team was not the biggest, not the strongest, the toughest, or the fastest team. And I could argue that all 6 teams that we lined up against were bigger and stronger than us. What this team did have, and what it shows you, is heart and a love for one another. Expectations going into this year were not high in Bulldog land. After coming off a 5-4 season, we had 2 starters coming back. We had to replace an entire offensive line. There were more question marks than probably any team I've been around as well. But these kids exceeded expectations. They didn't care what other people thought, what they should be. And that trust and love came out week after week. And I'll tell you, as someone who loves this community, is these kids represented this wonderful community as well as anyone who's ever put on a Bulldog uniform. And for that, I sit here as a very proud coach of this football team. So with that being said, let me get to our varsity letter winners. First, the freshmen. And yes, all 3 of these freshmen did start. Tells you about our bright future. Matt Scheibe, Gavin McGill, and Ryan Ward. Sophomores, and yes, we did have a handful of sophomores starting as well. Sal Fernandez, Steve Peixoto, Giacomo Silvestri, Danny Carr, Wally Momo, Zach Herninko, and Van Weber. That was our sophomore class. Juniors, Jake Schutt, James Ernst, Justin Sarnowski, Connor Finan, Luke Carney, Luke Marin, Harold Kwan, Pat Cerulli, JJ Herninko, Alex DeMalo, and Doug Russell. And now we're going to get to what tonight really is about celebrating our seniors. What we just read is a very bright and optimistic future for the Bulldogs, but in order to have a bright future, which obviously we all hope we do, we have to find a way to replace these 11 seniors, and that will probably be the toughest task of all going into 2021. Our first senior, Colin Doyle. Colin is a first-year player, saw time with us at wide receiver and at special teams. When I think of Colin, I think of a kid who every single time he stepped out in the field strived to get better. You saw a look in Colin's eye during practice. He took to every last word that you said, ate up the coaching and displayed it on the field. And that's why this first-year player got playing time and was an absolute pleasure to coach and will be definitely hard to replace next year. That's Colin Doyle. Another first-year player, Rob Cartwright. Robbie started us for kicker. He was our place kicker, our field goal kicker, our extra point kicker. He also played wide receiver and cornerback for us. You know, when I think of Robbie, kind of a unique story that you don't hear too often. One of the games that we end up losing was against the defending Group 1 state champs, Booton, who we picked up 24 hours before the game. They ran a triple option offense, which that's a whole different story, but we were down late in the game. And Robbie, we needed an onside kick. And Robbie executed a perfect onside kick. Not only did he execute the kick, he also recovered that onside kick, something you do not hear every day. And when I think of Robbie Cartwright, I'm going to think about that kid recovering his own onside kick in an extremely big and tight game. That's Robbie Cartwright. I mentioned the Bulldogs' breakout star this year, PJ Airy. PJ saw his first varsity experience this year. He was a wide receiver, cornerback, and played just about every single special teams for the Bulldogs. He was named second team All-Colonial Division wide receiver, and his success was our success. What defines PJ was his work ethic and attitude. He brought that every single day he put on the pads, and it was a pleasure seeing him have a great season for us, and he's one that will be sorely missed. That's PJ Airy. Next, Shabam Prerik. Shabam, this is his second varsity letter. Shabam played offensive and defensive lines for us. Unfortunately, Shabam suffered an ankle injury right as kind of, if you want to call it camp, when the season started in September. He had to take some time off, but when Shabam came back, he came back as strong as ever. He's a great kid to have in the program, and he's one that will be sorely missed. That's Shabam. Next, another first-year player, Brendan Kelly. We have a lot of first-year guys here. Brendan made an immediate impact on this football team. He started at outside linebacker. He also played on all special teams for us. And as a first-year player, Brendan was selected as second-team All-League outside linebacker, which is a tremendous honor for a first-year player. He was an athlete, and he was a kid that, especially as a first-year player, you need to take to coaching. And once he got his feet under him, he was a fantastic player. A great kid, fantastic player, will be sorely missed. That's Brendan Kelly. The last of our first-year players, Rocco Carrizzo. Rocco played D-tackle in just about every special teams for the Bulldogs this year. He's another one. He received honorable mention All-League. Again, first-year guys do not receive those honors, so it's kudos to him. When I think of Rocco, I think of a kid that was a force in the middle. You know, if you watch football, whether it's on Sundays or Saturday for college, when a team breaks a run and they're 15 yards down the field, you very, very rarely see a D-tackle making a play 15 yards down the field. And when they do, the announcer's pointing it out over and over. Well, Rocco did that anytime the ball got down the field. He was the first one to hustle, get down that field, and that just showed how much that love and care for one another. You don't do that unless you do love and care for one another, and that's what I'm always going to remember about Rocco Carrizzo. Next, Dylan Fox. This is Dylan's third varsity letter. When I think of Dylan, he's just a true bulldog. Dylan was a program kid, was in here for 4 years. He is a great, great kid to coach, offensive and defensive lines. He would have done anything for this program, played special teams. He's somebody that when you have a kid that's hardworking and coachable, you miss the heck out of him because you know that other people are looking at him, especially the example that he set as a senior to all the younger kids, someone that's going to be very challenging to replace. That's Dylan Fox. Next, Will Calvo. Will is on his third varsity letter. He started at guard and defensive end / D tackle sometimes for us. Will was awarded second team all-league offensive line. And if you watched us warm up or if you watched us in a huddle, the first thing you would hear would be Will's voice. He was a team leader. Kids looked up to him. He was vocal. He played hard. And he was one of those 5 new linemen that we talked about that we needed dearly this year. And he's one that's going to be sorely missed. That's Will Calvo. Next, Eric Gumaz. Eric is another third-year varsity letter player. He was a two-way starter for us. Eric played center and defensive end. Eric was like our glue guy. He held everything together, especially with that completely no inexperienced line that we had. At center, you have to make calls. You have to kind of direct the traffic. You're like the quarterback of the offensive line. And Eric did that as well as anybody. And that's why Eric was selected as a first-team all-league offensive center in the Colonial Division. It's a tremendous honor for him. It's well-deserved. And he's just very, very dependable. And that's probably the best quality about Eric. That's Eric Gumaz. Next, Christian Gumaz. This is also Christian's third varsity letter. Well, if I just called his brother Mr. Dependable, I'll call Christian Mr. Reliable. Christian played D-end and tackle for us. He was another one of the very important pieces on an inexperienced offensive line. Christian was a playmaker, and we're going to miss him making plays just like his brother. He's a wonderful person to coach, to be around. It just makes it pleasurable to be around kids like that. He was awarded first team all-league for his play at defensive end, and another well-deserved accolade for that kid. That's Christian Gumaz. And last but not least is Evan Ward. Evan was a three-year varsity letter athlete. Evan was our Mr. Everything. He did, how Evan went is how the Bulldogs went. If Evan was going, the Bulldogs were rolling. If Evan wasn't going, the Bulldogs weren't rolling. It was that simple. Evan did it all. He was a first-team all-league quarterback. He started at defensive safety for us, and he was also selected second-team all-county. Congratulations to you on that. He was, and you just take one look at Evan, you could tell that kid's a player. But one thing that you can't tell unless you're around the kid is he's even a better person. He's going to have a wonderful career at the next level. That's Evan Ward. We're going to give out 2 awards here. The first one is the Best Teammate Award. Our Best Teammate Award, now I hope I'm not setting a bad precedent, is going to go to 2 people. But really, it's almost like one person, if you knew them. It's 2 kids that I respectfully call the Goombas. Our best teammate is going to go to Eric and Christian Gumaz. Congratulations. I called them both reliable, dependable. They were always, always there. And that's what a good teammate is. That's what a good teammate does. And that's what we're going to miss next year, are those 2 brothers running around, knowing what you're going to get from them, and improving every single day and just being a great teammate. Congratulations, Eric and Christian. Our Best Coaches Award goes to the player that was the engine of our team. It's no secret, if you watched any of our games this year, you knew who our engine was. You knew who turned us on, turned us off. As soon as he was going, we were rolling. And that is Evan Ward. Evan was the center of our team. Like I said, he was everything to us. And replacing Evan will be our number one priority next year. Don't know if it'll be possible, but we're going to do our best. Evan, congratulations. You won the 2020 Coaches Award. And that's it for the Rutherford Bulldog football team. I hope everyone stays safe, stays happy, stays healthy. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Coach Dunn. Next up, Varsity Cheerleading, coached by Miss Robin Cafiro.
Although this season was unlike any other, we were still able to continue with our old traditions during both preseason and football games, all while following our new guidelines. We had the largest group of athletes that we've had in quite a few years, and we were so pleased with how hard they worked, how dedicated they were, and their ability to pull off a killer halftime performance, especially under these circumstances. As we've done in the past, the team chose to collect donations for the Rutherford Community Pantry as a way to give back to those who are in need. With the help of our students, faculty, and staff, the cheerleaders were able to donate over 18 boxes of non-perishable items. We were so happy with their efforts and understanding the importance of giving back. And now to our 2020 Rutherford High School Varsity Cheerleading team. Freshmen, Sarah Sabia, Kyla Campbell, Emma Wizard, Madison Silverstein, and Alyssa Schaefer. Sophomores, Barbie Airy, Tatum Airy, Rachel Dre, Kayla Garofalo, Allison Lee, Olivia Michaelaski, Hannah Miller, and Kat Kelly. Juniors, Jordan Buckley, Mackenzie Guido, Lauren Hayes, Grace Kelly, Captain Katie McCarthy, Amaya Pascas, Natalie Petrosino, Brooke Schroeder, Haley Scott, and Kimberly Vosbrink. Our seniors, Captain Samantha Joya. Sammy really came into her own this year. Because of her knowledge of the sport, Sammy was able to work with her teammates with improving in areas they may have been struggling with. Sammy has had different roles throughout the years and was always willing to do whatever she needed to successfully assist her team. That's Senior Captain Sammy Joya. Our last senior, Captain Kate Marin. Kate continued to make a positive impact with both her teammates and the program as a whole. Her dedication and enthusiasm are just two of the many reasons her younger teammates look up to her. She exhibits great self-awareness, understands her limitations, and is always willing to assist her teammates in any way possible. She creates a sisterhood among her teammates and promotes positivity both in and out of practices and games. We wish our seniors nothing but the best and are confident they will do great things in the future. We are looking forward to our 2021 fall season and know we have great things to come. We have 3 awards to give, 2 coaches awards. One of the coaches awards will go to senior Kate Marin, and the other coaches award will go to freshman Sarah Sabia. Our best teammate award goes to Amaya Pascas, and that is voted among the teammates themselves. So congratulations to all, and have a happy new year.
Thank you, Coach Cafiro. Next up, our boys and girls cross country team, coached by Mr. Justin Van Dyke.
Hello and welcome. It is my pleasure to present the boys 2020 cross country team. So our boys 2020 team saw another successful season in the history of our program. Our boys team this year was one of the more rapidly improving teams in North Jersey. This team started out unranked due to the fact that we lost a number of our experienced runners from last year. And we're really looking to a lot of our younger runners to now step up and be that next group of great Rutherford teams. And they answered the call. And as I said, they started out the season unranked. They were one of the top teams at the NJIC meet. They were one spot away from making the North Jersey Championship meet, which was pretty much an invite-only meet. And even as a small school, they were competitive with all of the non-publics and even some of our larger schools. And then the team was picked as a contender at the North 2 Group 2 meet, which unfortunately they were unable to compete in. But once again, it just shows the progress and the work that this group of gentlemen put in to go from unranked to then by the end of the season being considered a sectional contender. And once again, this team is very junior heavy, as you're going to see in a moment. So we're going to be leaning on that experience next year, and hopefully each of these boys will be able to take that next level and really push us into that upper level and kind of start us off on that high note and get us rolling. So as I said, I'd like to call up our juniors. So our first junior is Tom Benninghoff. Tom was able to garner a second team all-conference performance at the NJIC meet. Our next junior is Matthew Bronico. Same thing, another second team all-conference nomination. After Matthew is Joe Cantelmi, who also garnered an NJIC nomination. And then we also have Nicholas Graukowski, Lorenzo Naruki, and Oscar Schlimmer. So thank you, gentlemen, and we look forward to the progress next year. We have 3 seniors that are graduating our program this year. The first is Nicholas Miloja. This was Nick's first year with cross country, and he could not have exceeded expectations with us. It is not easy as a senior to come out and have cross country or any type of endurance sport be your kind of first sport for high school. And, that's a daunting task. And we've had a lot of people come out over the years that, after about a week or so and going through kind of the soreness and the toughness and the length of the workouts and the commitment it takes, and they've quit. Nick never led that on to our coaching staff or anything, and just worked hard every day. And you could talk to, I'm sure if they could jump in on this, my fantastic assistants, Charbot Melfa and Blake Broncato, we'll talk about just every day was just there. Every day was just working, and there was never any excuses. There was never any, trying to get out of a workout. And, he was just there. And it was, once again, just a wonderful thing to see somebody discovering the joy that is running and become part of the running community. And, our wish for Nick among our coaching staff is that this is the beginning of a running life, that hopefully that his running doesn't end with his cross-country career, but that this is the start, because running is a lifetime sport. Our next senior is our co-captain, Viraj Parkeet. For Viraj, this is his third year for us, and just every year, he's always been such a tough kid for us. And now he's brought along with that toughness, just that base of mileage and that base of work. And once again, it showed this year. He was our linchpin. He was Mr. Dependable. We always knew when we'd go into a race that, wherever Viraj matched up with some of the better kids in the conference, we knew he had him beat. He was just, you could just pencil it in of, okay, what does their second guy run? They run this time. Okay, Viraj is going to beat him, so we can count on that score. Or, Viraj is going to run this time, no doubt. So that's going to place him here. So that's going to help the team score here, and he came through every time. And, and once again, and he was just fantastic with our younger runners, just showing them and including them. And, and just also too bringing a little bit of kind of a comic relief to practice every day. A lot of times it was at Coach Broncato's expense, which made it more the better in my opinion. But just kind of bringing that kind of fun atmosphere and that kind of enjoyment, and that, this is supposed to be kind of a nice experience, every day was just great for keeping our team together. Our next senior is our co-captain, Jonathan Ramek. Jonathan was one of the top runners in the NJC. He achieved first team all-conference. Jonathan also got third team all-North Jersey this year, which recognizes athletes in Bergen, Passaic, and parts of Hudson County. So he was third team on that. And he was our workhorse. He was our best kid. And he did not disappoint. And that's not easy to do, to go into every race and be what we like to call that low stick, meaning that low number, meaning top 5 no matter what. That is not easy to do, to kind of rise to that occasion each and every time. And JJ did that. And like I said, and that's such a huge help as a coach when you know you have that front pack leader that's going to get that low stick, that's going to be in that top spot, that may actually come through and win a race, and be able to kind of set the table for everybody else. And those of you that know JJ also know just the type of kid he is. He's just kind of an easygoing, just such an enthusiastic and such a positive kid. And once again, that wears off on the rest of the team, where, we go into races and just that confidence level is so high because JJ's been talking to them all week about, you guys got this. We're working, we're running hills, we're running all this mileage, we're doing this, we're doing all these workouts, they're not working as hard as we're outworking them. We got this. And once again, as I said before, you could see how those younger runners responded with the performance there because they were ready. This team was psyched up and they were out there attacking and they were following his lead. And so that was such a massive thing. And we wish best of luck to all of our seniors, and we thank you for their commitment to our XC family. Our awards this year, our first award, 4 years on a varsity sport, JJ Ramek. So congratulations. And like I said, each year just a big contributor for us, and every year just more and more dependable. And his senior year going out on top. For our best teammate goes to our other co-captain, Mr. Viraj. So as his teammate said, just a guy that just includes everybody, just is always willing to help, always willing to motivate, always willing to kind of be a shoulder to lean on. So congratulations. I can't agree more with that assessment. And then our coaches award, this was an unanimous pick. This goes out to Matt Bronico. Matt came into this season fired up. I have the email saved. He emailed me back in June, said, Coach, I'm going to break 20 this year. I want to run low 19s. I want to be in the top 5 of the varsity, and just laid out his whole season plan for me. And we worked together on it, and we incorporated a lot of things. And Matt incorporated a lot of cross training, to kind of compensate. Matt, as a second-year runner, knew he couldn't run some of the higher mileage that, say, our seniors or more experienced runners could, but he still knew that he had to put in that work. So Matt would do a lot of cross training on his bike, and would go out and do these really long, 20-plus mile bike rides throughout all Bergen County, on top of his running. And he really wanted to put in that effort, and it showed. I mean, day one, I can remember that first summer practice, the coaches, it was like we had a different kid in all the best way. And so that was unanimous, just believing in what we're talking about and just putting in that consistent work. It's as simple as that to be successful in this sport. So congratulations to Matt. Once again, thank you to all our athletes. Hello and welcome. It is my pleasure to present the girls 2020 cross-country team. So our 2020 season started out and really carried through with the mantra of count on me. The team met in June, and at that point, there were a lot of things up in the air, but we were definite that as a group, our season would happen. So when that starting line finally approached, we knew we wanted to make sure that we were ready, both from a mental and a physical standpoint. So the mantra of count on me basically was that no matter what's happening, to keep getting yourself ready, because we want you, when that starting line approaches, when you look to your left and look to your right, to know that the whole team is ready and that everybody is counting on each other. And a credit to my wonderful assistant coaches, Cheryl Melfa and Blake Broncato, with helping and their flexibility in that. And also credit to our leadership. This girls team was ready to go. And once our season got going, this team was one of the toughest in the small school division of North Jersey. They started right out of the gate with a win at the North Jersey Small School Division season opener. This is the first time we've won the small school division on the girls' side in 20-plus years, and that put our girls' team right among some of the top schools in North Jersey, where they pretty much stayed all season. the girls remained in the rankings throughout that time, and they were one of the top teams in the NJIC and one of the top teams in northern New Jersey. And this was not easy with some of the different things we had to go through, and we were very lucky also to have a stellar underclassmen group come out. And once again, when we talk about Count on Me, they were also counted upon that, hey, you might get the call to jump in a varsity race. And there were a couple moments where that did occur, and this team jumped at the tangent. And as a result, the future looks bright. We have a group now with some great experiences that will bring back next year and continue kind of this tradition of success that we've built. So I'd like to bring up each of these girls and talk a little bit about them. So our first group is our freshmen. So we had 4 freshmen earn letters this year, and they would be Cecilia Davidson, Jody DeSalvo, Mia Luciano, and Coda Marizo. So congratulations to them. For our sophomore class, our letter winner is Alyssa Castillo. Alyssa garnered a honorable mention all conference, so congrats. For our juniors, we have Bridget Sullivan, who was top 10 at our conference meet, which garnered her a first team all NJIC nomination. For our senior class, so we'll be graduating 4 seniors from our team this year. Our first senior, Giselle Concepcion. This was Giselle's first cross-country season with us, and by watching her at practices or watching her in races, you would not feel or see that she's a first-year runner. Just from day one, Giselle brought this just toughness and this understanding of the consistency that it takes to be successful in an endurance event like cross-country. And so every day she was there, and there were days where she was definitely sore. There were days where her body was telling her, why are you running? But she never made excuses. She never tried to skip out. She always was, I can do half the workout. I can do a couple miles. Don't worry. And once again, when you see that from a first year runner, that pushes everybody. That pushes our more veteran runners to say, she's not giving up. She's working. And then once again, it trickles down to kind of our younger runners to see that maturity and that responsibility. And so, thank you, Giselle, for that. And Giselle was part of our top 7, so she was a great contributor for our squad. So we wish her best of luck moving forward. Our next senior is Amy Linsalata. Those of you that know Amy, those of you from RHS staff that are watching this, Amy is a huge ball of energy, and she brings that to the team every day, whether it be a practice or race, and she just gets our team ready. She gets them pumped up. And obviously that's such a huge help for the coach when you have your team locked in and you just have them kind of all just excited and all ready to go and kind of ready to get after it. In addition to that, Amy is one of the toughest runners I've ever coached. She will run through the wall if it means helping the team. And she just loves being a part of this group, and she just loves seeing the team's success. And once again, she's a top contributor for us. And that just raises everybody else's level when you see somebody that's not just resting on their laurels, just not saying, well, I'm top 3, or I'm one of the better girls, or I got a letter last year, I'm good to go. She just keeps working. She just wants to be better every single day, and that just elevates everybody else's game. Our next senior is our co-captain, Erin DeMayo. Erin has come a long way with our team, and from when she first came out as a sophomore till now, Erin has just become a student of how to be a great runner. Starting out from sophomore year, just embracing all the different aspects, from training to nutrition to sleep to using the course, using the geography of the course to take advantage of certain areas where she maybe could get an edge or kind of mentally take over a younger runner that maybe doesn't know the course as much. And each year, Erin gets incrementally better. And this year, as her senior year, was basically her just putting it all together. She was top 10 at the NJIC, one of the best girls in the NJIC. She was one of our top performers all throughout the season, and once again has turned into a very tough runner. In addition, as our co-captain, she makes sure that our team is all inclusive, that the girls always felt like they were part of this group and they always were welcome, and coming up with different ways to get that across. And that's not easy when you're in a social distance environment, but Amy got it done. And once again, it was just a huge help in making this a team effort. Our last senior is Katie Whaley. Katie is 5 persons in one. She is an assistant coach. She's one of our best runners. She is a recruiter. She is our communicator, making sure that everything's organized with our schedules and our planning and all that stuff. She does a lot for us, and that's going to be sorely missed next year. And she, once again, is a top contributor. She garnered a all-conference nomination this year for her efforts. And once again, just consistently, just throughout her time here with us, just every year, just getting a little better, every year getting a little better, and just bringing that toughness. And once again, just another kid that is going to come every day and just trust the coaches and trust the process. And, she saw that success, and that's such a huge statement, especially for our younger people to say, look, when you buy into what the program is talking about and when you do the work, you're going to achieve success, and kind of just simplifying it for them. And also, taking in a lot of our younger runners and kind of talking to them and let them know, like, hey, I had obstacles too, I had bumps too, and let them know that it's okay and that you're going to experience some failure. And, if you use it as a way to motivate, you're going to pay off down the line. Our team awards, we have 2 awards. Our best teammate award. So this goes to somebody that I've already talked glowingly about, somebody who is, like as I said, our organizer, our glue that holds us together. Her teammates talk about how she's consistently always checking in on them, making sure they're okay, and just comes every day with a smile. And that person is Katie Whaley. So congratulations. For our coaches award, this was a unanimous pick, and this is for an athlete that just has done everything, and just from day one till now is just impressed us so immensely. We're so excited to see all the different achievements that she's going to see over her future, college and beyond. And we wish her the best of luck. So our coaches award goes to Erin DeMayo. So thank you again to all our supporters. Congrats to all the other teams. Happy holidays, everybody, and have a great day.
Thank you, Coach Van Dyke. Next up, our girls varsity tennis team, coached by Mr. James Parnafiello.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jamie Parnafiello, and I'm the girls' varsity tennis coach at Rutherford High School. Although this was a challenging fall season, I would like to congratulate all of our teams that competed in this unique and enjoyable season. A couple special shout-outs. First, to our boys' soccer team for winning their first sectional title, and Coach Randazzo, great job, congratulations. Also, I would like to send out a special thank you to Mr. Frazier and Mrs. Haydorn for all of their hard work in making this extremely challenging season a great success. Next, I would like to give a special thank you to my assistant coaches. My assistants, Mike Mayerzak and John Parnafiello, played a large role in the success of this season and future seasons to come. Your assistance is crucial to the success of our program and enables us to have great practices and training sessions throughout the season. This year, our girls tennis team finished with a final record of 6-4. In our league play, we had a 6-3 record. Although we had one of our league matches which was unable to be made up, we definitely got in more matches than we could have hoped for. This season, all of our singles players finished the year with winning records, and our doubles teams were able to pull off multiple 3-set wins throughout the season. With the exception of the league champion and ultimate state champion, Leonia, in our league we were able to beat every other team that we faced in league play. This season, we were able to gut out 2 3-2 victories over Saddlebrook and New Milford to show our ability to win pressure matches. We also qualified for the state tournament, although we suffered a heartbreaking 3-2 defeat versus a tough Weehawken opponent. We battled to the last possible point of the match. Now for our varsity letter winners. Freshman, Mishri Parikh. Sophomore letter winners. Our second singles player, Amelia Perlmutter. One of our first doubles players, Katie Bonanno. Another one of our first doubles players, sophomore, Irina Chowdhury. Our junior letter winners. First singles player, Naki Kanefu. And one of our second doubles players, Ida Feza. And now for our seniors. Our first senior, our third singles player, Marina Armanius. Marina was our captain this year. She did a great job in all aspects of leadership throughout the season. Marina had 2 highlight wins this year in 3 sets where she was down after the first set, persevered, and had come from behind wins versus tough league opponents. Marina's play, both on and off the court, will be missed. That is Marina Armanius, senior. Our next senior, Hasti Patel. Hasti competed in doubles throughout this season. She was a part of a second doubles team that was ever-changing throughout the year. Hasti, however, was the constant, competing in our 9 final matches of the season. Her ability to compete with changing teammates is something that should not be overlooked, and she did a great job doing so. Hasti stood out, particularly in doubles play, for her smooth forehand-backhand combination. Thank you for a great season, Senior Hasti Patel. Our next senior, Purna Thapesha. Purna was another one of our second doubles players who competed in half of our league varsity matches. Purna always stayed ready and was always eager to help our team pull out an important victory. Improving on her serve throughout the season, this gave Purna a good weapon in many of her matches down the stretch. Due to her hard work and practice each day, she was much improved throughout the year. Thank you for a great season, Purna Thapesha, Senior. Our final senior, Eva Tobin. Eva was a first-year tennis player for our team. Although Eva did not play tennis ever before, she was courageous and eager enough to come out her senior year and try out for the team. Despite not having played before, Eva competed mainly in JV matches throughout the season and by the end of the year became one of our most improved players. She was a great communicator on the court and always exemplified how to be a leader and a positive influence for many of our younger players. Eva finished her senior tennis season by competing and winning in her only varsity match of her career in second doubles. Thank you for a great season, Eva Tobin. Thank you once again to our entire team and staff on a successful season. I will now announce the winners of our 2 team awards for this season. Our Best Teammate Award. This young lady was a great leader both on and off the court. She exemplified many qualities of a successful leader throughout the season for our team. Her ability to help unify a team that was unable to have much of a preseason was a testament to her personality and inclusion of everyone. Meshing girls from freshman to senior is not always an easy thing to do, but Marina helped to make this possible for our team this year. Marina was very competitive on the court and was the first person to root for and care for her teammates after her matches were finished and in all other aspects off the court. Marina's impact on this team will be missed next year, and we wish her nothing but the best in her future. This year, our Best Teammate Award goes to Senior Marina Armanius. Our final award is the Coaches Award. Being a lifelong resident, I have always marveled at the amount of time that this young lady has spent working on her craft. Well before becoming the girls' tennis coach, I always knew hard work and dedication to the game would put this young lady in a great position to be one of the best tennis players Rutherford High School has ever seen. Having had great success as a freshman and sophomore as one of the top second singles players in the state, Naki took a significant leap this year to our number 1 single spot. Naki was our best player and proved that day in and day out. Naki finished with a record this season of 9-1. with her only loss coming in 3 sets to a fellow All-State and All-County opponent. Let it be noted that Naki also beat this same opponent earlier in the season as well. Naki's dominance on the court should be enjoyed by more and more fans in the future, and we can't wait to see what she can do next year. Naki was awarded First Team All-NJIC as well as First Team All-State Group 1. This year, our Coaches Award goes to Junior Naki Connected.
Thank you, Coach Parnafiello. Next up, our girls varsity soccer team, coached by Mr. Rich Blanchard.
Before I introduce the girls soccer team, I wanted to thank some people for all their efforts this fall season. Our administration was phenomenal with allowing us the opportunity to get on the field, making sure that everything was safe for the athletes and the coaches. I know Mr. Frazier worked around the clock, and without him, I don't think this would have been possible for anyone. Ms. Haydorn, as always, was phenomenal. The amount of changes to schedules and everything going on must have been overwhelming, but she always had a smile on her face, and everything worked out like it usually does, where we were able to get on the field when we should against opponents, and we always knew what changes were taking place as she communicated with us regularly. Ms. Lapati did a great job with the athletes with the shortened preseason. We had a little more nicks and knacks, I think, than in years past, and she did a great job of communicating with the athletes, telling what they needed to do to stay healthy and to manage some of those things that they would be able to play. As always, my 2 assistant coaches are phenomenal. I always tell other coaches in our league how lucky I am to have them. Coach Jay and Coach Moosh continue to do a wonderful job this year, as they always do. There were some more challenges for ourselves and for the athletes, but we had a very successful season. It was really very rewarding for us as a coaching staff and for our athletes. To give a little summary of our season, we had that shortened preseason, but our athletes came in very good shape. They took care of all the running on their own, and they were ready to play. We started off the year a little slower, which made sense since we only had 1 scrimmage and usually have 4 or 5, but quickly we were able to pick up our intensity, link up on the field better than we were early on, and really play as a unit. On the season, we only gave up 9 goals in 10 games. We finished with 7 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. One of those ties was against Lyndhurst, who had beaten us the first time. We went into double overtime the second time. Very exciting game for both teams. Ended in a 0-0 draw, and Lyndhurst ended up going on to play in the regional final. So it was a very good result against a very talented team. The next 2 games after that, we won in overtime against an 11-win New Milford squad and beat a Riverdale squad on the road 1-0 in overtime. We have a huge core of our team coming back next year, so I'm very excited for that. Although our 3 seniors were an integral part of everything this year for us, they could not have been better leaders, and they really showed our younger athletes how to carry themselves both on and off the field. So they will be dearly missed, but I know when they're looking back from college next year, they'll be very proud to see the things that our team is accomplishing. I would like to introduce each player, starting with our freshman, Carrie Augustifer, Maya McCosker, sophomores Leah Barna, Natalie Verone, Lucia Andler, first team All-League Sam Kazmarek, first team All-League Vanessa Centurion, juniors, second team All-League Gabby Jimenez, Natalie Augustifer, Harmony Marquez, Adea Baldamal, first team All-League Emily Weber, Melissa Tabakia, Kaylee Bowman, Abby Schmidt, first team All-League, third team All-County, Olivia Smith, And now I'd like to talk a little bit about our seniors. The first senior I'd like to talk about, Teresa Sasso. You can see smile comes to my face immediately just saying her name. She just did an unbelievable job of growing and improving as a soccer player throughout her 4-year career. She has an infectious personality. Everyone on the team, I think everyone in the program just absolutely loved her. She was able to play multiple positions and would play anywhere you asked her, would ask coaches questions, just wanted to get better, wanted to improve, wanted to help the team in any way possible. She was just fantastic to have on the team. Senior Teresa Sasso. The second senior I'd like to talk about, one of our captains, 3-year varsity letter winner, 2-time second team all-league player, Ava Scheibe. She was a center back this year. Last year she played outside back for us. Another player, just whatever the team needed, she was willing to do. Exceptional fitness, very high soccer IQ, read the game well, would cut off players before they would get to a spot because she knew where they were going. And very good athleticism. She organized our back line. She led us in many ways. 9 goals in 10 games. It was top 20 at North Jersey, and she was a huge part of that. Ava will be surely missed next year, but I'm sure she will go on to great things in college. I know she will be playing a sport in college and will be exceptional at it. Senior Ava Scheibe. The last senior that I have the honor of talking about, another captain, 3-year varsity starter, Ava Nunziato. Ava was also a 2-time second team all-league player for us. She became a very vocal leader for us this year with the shortened preseason and just all the uncertainties around. She was a very positive and uplifting figure for us. Ava's season, unfortunately, was cut short due to injury. She still was second team all-league because of how well she played during the season. And she continued to be a vocal leader for us and help with the girls just with keeping them on track, keeping them focused, even after her injury, which prevented her from playing the last few games. She played outside mid for us. She was very good at getting us forward into the attack, but she also did a great job of working hard defensively and helping with a team that didn't allow a lot of goals. A big part was our midfield as well. Ava Nunziata will be missed next year. Happy to have had her on the team for 3 years. Next, I would like to give out our coaches awards. The first award goes to a player who always put the team first. She really just wanted to do her best for the team so that the team could be successful. From the beginning of the year to the end of the year, her improvement was immense, especially in a short season with no preseason and all of those factors. She really was exceptionally better by the end of the year. But one thing that didn't change throughout the year was just her attitude. She had such a positive attitude and just was a pleasure to be around. And many girls actually commented on it in their end of the year meetings, how much they were going to miss her, what a special part of the team she was. So it gives me great pleasure to give our first coaches award to Teresa Sasso. Our second coaches award goes to a player who was very important to us, an integral part of our defense, just did all the dirty work for us, really didn't say much on the field or expect any gratitude from anyone. It was just her job. She went to work, wanted to do her best, wanted us to be successful. Honestly, I think she'll be surprised to get this award, but it is well deserved. And next year we are going to need her to continue to grow and improve and be even more of a leader. She was a big part of our back line that was exceptional, and it's junior Abby Schmidt. The last award that we will be giving out this evening is our coaches award. I'm sorry, not our coaches award, our best teammate award. We already gave out the coaches awards, but this was the first year. We always have a few people that get votes, but this was the first year that all of our seniors got a lot of votes. And I think it speaks volumes for what great leaders they were. In a year like this one, it would have been very easy for them to be a little upset that their senior year was different than previous years, that we were going to play less games. They really took the opposite approach, that they were just happy to be with their teammates. They were proud to represent their school and to get games in and to have a season. And I think that leadership showed from all of them, but one that stood out more, and of course it did with her teammates as well, as she had the most votes for it, was a captain, Ava Nunziato. As I said earlier, Ava was a very talented player. For 3 years, she started on some very good teams, but her leadership this year was unmatched. And the girls on the team noticed it. They said that she was just very positive with them. She wanted everyone to improve, to get better, but the way that she presented it to them was easy to receive. She wasn't too hard on them, but she also had high expectations for them. Even after an injury, it was all about the team and all about them and about them being successful. She was very positive with them, and she was great. That's why she is getting our Best Teammate award. Again, it was a pleasure coaching these girls this year. So happy to have gotten the season in. So thankful for all the help from our administration, all the efforts from the girls, from their families, support from the town. And I'm excited to get back on the field with the girls that are returning in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Blanchard. Next up, our boys varsity soccer team, NJSIAA regional champions, coached by Mr. John Randazzo.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start by thanking Mr. Hurley and Mr. Morano for their support this year. Ms. Sharon Lopati and Judith Goimbert, thank you for working with our athletes in such tough times. Special thanks this season to Mr. Frazier and Mrs. Haydorn for all their efforts to keep our kids safe. That we were able to even play this season, and nonetheless win a championship, is nothing short of a miracle. A lot of that is through their hard work behind the scenes and willingness to schedule games at a moment's notice. Thank you for everything this season. As usual, I'd like to thank our JV coach and varsity assistant, Mr. Ron Galarza. As our boys can attest, he does an outstanding job developing our players and instilling the culture of the program in school at a young age. Special congrats go out to Coach Galarza and his JV boys this season. They went an unprecedented 7-0 this season, undefeated season for those guys, so needless to say, the future is bright. This year's varsity boys soccer team finished with 7 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties. In a difficult year where so many things could have gone wrong, so much went right for us. That's a testament to this group's leadership, maturity, and ability to overcome adversity and to push forward even when things look bleak. As a team, we were a senior and talent-rich group who struggled to stay healthy at first. We'd all admit that we started a little bit slower than we'd like, but still it was evident that we had a good group. We kept playing, we were playing well, we created chances, but the goals just weren't going in for us. But our boys stayed the course, and they didn't get discouraged, and eventually they delivered. After going 2-1 and only scoring 5 goals in our first 5 matches, we exploded for a 5-0 victory on the road versus perennial state powerhouse Harrison High School. Nobody beats Harrison 5-0, and they definitely don't win 5-0 at Harrison High School. But we did. We also went 5 wins, 0 losses, and 1 tie in our last 6 games of the season. We capped that run with a win at Northern Valley Demarest to win the first NJSIAA state-level championship in our program's history. Congratulations, boys. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the 2020 Group 2 Regional Champion, Rutherford Bulldogs. Freshman, Leo Santana. Sophomore, Daniel Geltrude. Sophomore, Mario Iadeluca. Sophomore, Owen Lull. Junior, second team All-League, Kevin Alves. Junior, Chris D'Ambrosio. Junior, Jimmy Fensick. Junior, Christopher Marquez. Junior, Harris Mulich. And Junior, Max Zwemmer. And now for the seniors. Vishu Mangukia. Vishu worked really hard in the offseason to just make our team as a first-year varsity player. Through his work ethic, contagious enthusiasm, and positive attitude, he made the team and exceeded all expectations. Throughout the season, he was always willing to contribute in any way necessary. He is held in high regard by all of his teammates as he is such a positive influence on our team chemistry. Despite his inexperience, he was able to help contribute by salvaging us a road tie in his first varsity start versus a good Dumont team with a huge second half save and goal. Peter Camerano. Over the years, Peter has brought absolute energy to every match. He is not the guy on the field that leaves a match with a clean shirt. He's eager to make a slide tackle or put his body on the line for the good of the team. He is an honest and fair player that plays the game with an edge. This was evident in our match versus Dumont when Peter slide tackled a player with such ferocity that he nearly injured himself while causing the opponent to come up injured himself while doing almost a full flip. He immediately checked on this player to make sure that he was okay. He has a moment or two like this every match because he is constantly doing the dirty work that is necessary to win. His value to us doesn't show up on the score sheet, but because of this, Peter was awarded the Bergen County Soccer Coaches Unsung Heroes Award. Cal Chase. Cal was a good goalkeeper for us last season. Over the winter, he played more, continued to stay fit, and developed himself into an excellent goalkeeper. He's a good shot stopper that also controls his box well by cutting off crosses with his height and athleticism. Most impressively, he found his voice in the back, and he became a great communicator to his defense. Cal had some great moments this season, including an impressive back-to-back sequence of saves in the sectional final. But for me, I was most impressed with his resiliency when we were on the road at Lyndhurst. He single-handedly kept us in the match as he was so good. Our opponents were making a special trip over after the game to our bench just to show him respect for his performance. Cal finished the season as a first-team All-League player and a third-team All-County player. Andy Rettenberger. Andy is the second part of our tandem of wide defenders along with Peter. These two guys, I believe, are one of the keys to our success. He's been a versatile and valuable player to our program over the years. He grew up playing midfield, but almost immediately became an asset to our program as a defender. He has the ability to punish opposing forwards with his physicality and athleticism, and he's skilled enough to get forward and join the attack. One of my favorite memories of Andy will be on the road at Harrison High School when he went toe-to-toe with Harrison's wide back. This player was a handful the first time we played them, but this time was different. Repeatedly, Andy physically dominated him and owned the whole wing with tackle after tackle, and then he proceeded to get forward and start the attack. This is exactly what he did last season in our Bergen County Cup match as well. Steven Carino. Steven came up big for our program as he led the team in scoring with 10 goals and 7 assists in 11 games. As our lone forward, he served as a target player, ball winner, and playmaker. He was able to hold the ball and bring the midfield into the game as evidenced by his 7 assists. His creativity and understanding of the game allowed us to play through him, not to him.
He had a performance to remember at Harrison with a goal and an assist, and a career day versus Lyndhurst as he scored all 3 goals in a 3-1 win against our crosstown rivals. In our 2 state tournament matches, he was involved in 4 of the 5 goals that our team scored. That's 3 goals and 1 assist, and that included historic game-tying and game-winning goals in the regional final versus Northern Valley Demorest. Stephen has accumulated quite the resume this season. His honors include First Team All-League, First Team All-County, Bergen County Coaches Association League Player of the Year, and he was also selected to the Bergen County All-Star Game. Captain Gavin Singh-Sanoa. As one of our 3 captains this season, Gavin was a heart and soul leader. In his 3rd year here with the varsity team, he moved from the center midfield to the back line. The transition was seamless as he cemented himself as one of the best defenders not only in the league, but in our program's history. If you just watched a few minutes of one of our matches, you'd see him back there organizing the team around him, barking orders to his teammates, and winning every loose ball possible. After nearly every match, opposing coaches would comment on how difficult we were to break down in the back. Gavin was at the forefront of that. Game in and game out, he gave us the typical hard-nosed and steady performance that we needed. Gavin was also recognized this season as a first-team All-League player. Captain Shane Kelly. As our team's 2nd leading scorer this season, Shane had 5 goals and 3 assists. He's a smooth and graceful player that can explode past defenders with a quick first step. He played in the number 10 role for our team in the attacking center midfield and was widely known around our league as one of the focal points of our group. He's a player that has the ability to get away with taking extra risks on the ball that most of us cannot. Yet he still has the knack for not overindulging. This was the key to our success this season, as evidenced by his finish versus McNair, or the way that he single-handedly set up maybe the goal of the year versus Harrison High School. Even though he's an exceptional player, I have always appreciated the high character and maturity that Shane possesses. He's always been a great mentor for the younger players in our program. Shane was a first-team All-League player and was voted the Bergen County Coaches Association League Scholar Athlete of the Year. And finally, Captain Henry Gomes. This season, Henry embodied our focus and the mantra of the Bulldog Grit. Throughout his 4 years in our varsity program, he has been a part of and has contributed to many good teams, and he's been a starter on all of them for all 4 years. Additionally, he's played every position on the field except for goalkeeper. This season, Henry played defensive center mid. Typically, teams will use 2 players in this position, but due to Henry's athleticism, speed, and tenacity, he did the job by himself. This allowed Shane Kelly and Dan Geltrude to jump into the attack and overwhelm the teams that we played on the attack because they knew Henry was back to cover. This did not allow Henry to score many goals or tally many assists, but that didn't matter to him. As a captain and a leader, he gets it. The team and their accomplishments matter most to him, and to this whole group of guys, for that matter. That's what this team was about this year. But Henry really leads the way in this regard. Even still, he managed to score a phenomenal goal versus Harrison High School, and he was 2nd team All-League selection, and he will get to end his career at our high school on the highest of high notes with a win. Now for our Coaches Awards. The first Coaches Award goes to a player who is super unselfish. He puts his team ahead of his own stats. He's a guy who always does dirty work. He plays wherever the coaches need him. He stays back when we need him back. He goes forward when we need him forward, or he changes positions whenever necessary. Even though he doesn't have the goals and assists that he'd like to have had, He's always been a large part of who we are as a team over the last 2 years. His name is Andy Rettenberger. Our second Coach's Award goes to a player that helps keep the group light. He works as hard as he can in every practice, even though he may not play. And he works even harder at getting everyone fired up before every match. Surprisingly, he just started playing soccer this season, and he's my vote for the most improved player of this season. His name is Vishu Mangukia. Now finally, we have the Best Teammate Award. And this award to me is the best award of all because it's bigger than just our sport. It's about character, and it's about reaching your teammates. It's about touching people. It's about making a difference with your peers. It's voted on by the whole team. Some of the things that the guys on the team said about this player is that he keeps us focused. He kept the team together when we were quarantined and we needed to practice virtually. His spirit helped me find the motivation to work harder so we have the best chance of winning in the final 2 games. Above all else, he wants the team to succeed. His work ethic is crazy, and he's our leader on the field. And he defends so that others can attack. This is all the kids that wrote this, all the players wrote this, about my friend Henry Gomes. Congratulations again to everybody. Thank you again to everyone for all the great support. Thank you again to all the players for their efforts. It's been an absolute pleasure and thrill to go on this championship ride. Congrats again to our 2020 regional state champs, and I look forward to defending our title again next season. Thank you all.
Thank you, Coach Randazzo. Once again, congratulations. And congratulations to all of our student athletes. I'd like to take this final opportunity to thank our student athletes for all you've done on and off the field. I'd like to thank our parents for your continued support. And last but not least, our seniors. If this is your final season, thanks for all your hard work and dedication, and wish you well. Once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. Good night.